Okay, this is Mr. Peterson, and we're looking at the notes for section 3.3 in Algebra 2. And in this section, we're going to learn how to solve systems of inequalities. So you're going to be looking for greater than signs, less than signs, greater than or equal to signs, less than or equal to signs. So on the first example here, I just want to show you what a solution looks like. We have this point here, negative 4 or 5, and that point is actually it's an x and y pair. So I've labeled them x and y there. Let me redo that. It's a little bit fuzzy there. Okay, x and y. So we're going to try and plug this into these equations, and they're paired up. There's two equations, two inequalities in each one. And when you're solving these, you're trying to find the point that makes both equations true at the same time. So we're going to start in part A, seeing if the x value, negative 4, and the y value, 5, make both equations true. So we plugged in where it said y, we put our 5. And where it said x, we're putting a negative 4. When you work that out, you get a true statement. And then we're going to work on the other one. We're going to put the same numbers in, 5 for the y and negative 4 for the x. And when you work that one out, you get a false statement. Now, it needs to be true in both of them to be a solution, so this one is not a solution. Okay, we're going to take the same point, negative 4, 5, and we're going to try it in the second one here. Again, we're going to be putting negative 4 in for the x and 5 for the y. And when you work that out, you get a true statement, 3 is greater than or equal to 3. Plugging it in the other one and working it out also gives a true statement. So the point is a solution to this system of equations. Now, this is very inefficient. We were given a point out of many millions that we could have had, and we just tried it in both of them, and when it turned out to be true in both of them, it was true for the whole thing, so it was a solution. That's not a very efficient way of doing it, so we have to have a different way. And here's the process. You're going to graph both of them in the region where the graphs overlap. That's your solution. So let's do this first problem here. 2x minus 4, y is greater than 2x minus 4. We're going to graph this first. It's a region where we're going to shade above a dashed border. The slope is 2. The y-intercept is 4. Negative 4. So we're going to come down to negative 4 on the y-axis and count out a slope of 2. And we'll draw a dashed line through this. And we'll make a notation here that we're supposed to be above this line. So if this was all there was, we would be shading over on this side over here above the line. But we have the second one, and it has a slope, it has a y-intercept of 1, so we'll work with that. And the slope is negative 2/3, so you count that out. 2 down, 3 over, 2 down, 3 over. And this time we're going to draw a solid line because it's got the or equal to. And the notation we want on this one is an indication that we need to be below this line. So we need to be below the solid line and above the dashed line, and I'm going to draw a little pink dot where that's true. That pink dot is above the dashed line, and the pink dot is below the solid line. So that's the region where our solutions are. And you shade this area. This is the only area where both of those are true. Now, if you're using a pen, you're just going to hash this at a diagonal like this. Do a neat job, but just draw hash marks like that. The pink area is the region, the solution region. Okay, on the next one here, what we have is a horizontal line at -2. It does have the or equal to, so that means we do a solid line and we want to be below this line. So I'll bring my solid line in here. Hang on, let me get this straight here. Obviously, I'm off track here. There's y equals -2. And we want to be below that line, so I'll make that notation below. And if that's all there were, we would be shading this region down here. But we have more to take into account. This equation or inequality right there has to be solved for y. So we're going to take the 2x over. And divide everything by 5. And that'll take us down to y is less than -2/5 would be our slope, x plus 2. So this one hits at 2, and we go 2 down and 5 over. And then we draw our line. And I obviously am having some issues with drawing my lines here. And once again, we need to be below this line. You can see it says less than right there, so we need to be below this line. And then we shade the region that's below both lines. So it come across here below that line and then take a dive to stay below both lines. So this region here is the solution region. Now, if you're using a highlighter, hopefully a light colored highlighter, you're going to just color all this in. These are the millions of points that work. If you're just using a pen or a mechanical pencil, you just hashtag it, or you just hash it like this. Make sure it's neat, like that. And that's the solution set to that system of inequalities. Okay, we'll pick up on page 2 in a minute, and I'm going to do just the first problem on page 2 on the next video.